Welcome back to another episode on the Overseasons SMP server. Last time we built this iron farm over here, and it's doing great. I actually had to disable it because it was overflowing in materials. So our villagers are in here and happy, and I blocked it off from our zombie just so we didn't do it because we have more iron than we know what to do with, which is great. So that gives us a chance to rest and relax for a little bit and not have to worry about the iron situation. Today, I want to still continue to focus on our villagers, but I want to build a villager trading hall. This is going to make it a lot easier for us to do things in the future. Oh, it's getting late. Better sleep. I also got a couple doggos in between episodes. We still have our villagers over here, and I'd like to build a villager trading hall. Here's our villagers, all safe in here. And our trading hall will probably be in this area too. I'm thinking somewhere around this side. Maybe we could have like a little market square over here somewhere. That would be great. Yeah, actually right around here would be perfect. So to do that, we need to get some materials and get started on this. So last summer I did some traveling and I visited Poland. And what I want to build for this villager trading hall, I think is pretty visible over here. If I go over here, here's Wawel. This is the castle. And here's the old town. That's what I want to see. If I change this to satellite view, there we go. We get this. This is their old marketplace. And there's tons of little shops in here. And I think that would be kind of a cool thing to recreate here. As like our villager trading hall. So picture we have a main pathway over here that you can walk through, 2 entrances over here, and you have little booths for trading with villagers underneath. I think that would be really cool to have. So that's what I think we're going to build. Looking at some reference pictures, I want to base this using some oak wood. So I'm going to need to cut down some trees. Now, I'm planning on building this over here in this area. So let's get started on that. I think we can do something like this. I'm following a little bit of a tutorial I saw earlier today. That when that was there, we had. Now I'm going to do something a little different here because I don't intend on doing any upgrade stuff until later. So the villager will stand here. Workstation will be there. That'll look something like that. We could do something like that. And realistically, this needs to come out because down here we'll have a zombie. Okay. Then I need a crafting table. So that will go there. Our workstation will go here. And that will be our basic design. And then what I'll do is when this lowers, it should be fine there. This goes here. So that's the base of how the trading hall will work. Go 2 blocks over, get here with the logs, we strip it, planks down. We have a plank back here. Take the trapdoor, go right here. One goes there. This goes out here. This goes out here. Piston there. Dust here. Cut that out. So what I'll do instead is until we can get this ready, we'll do that. So I've pulled a villager out of my villager breeder, and I've set him up as a farmer. what I'm going to do now is lock in some trades. Awesome. So now we can get some emeralds easily. Villagers, I hope you make children. This guy, in the meantime, wants to start moving. Yes, do it, do it, do it, do it. Yes, got him. I need to get some more wood. I think there's some hangers over here that need to get cut down because someone likes to ruin my fun. How's that look? That works. So I went onto the creative server and I built a little mock-up of what this whole area looks like so far to get a picture of what I could build. And based on my reference pictures that I looked at earlier, I kind of just went together and came up with a design. It's not perfect, but it works for this case. I decided to only build a quarter of the building because, one, it would speed up time and would make it easier to build the long term, and two, it's just a little simpler. I don't have to worry about anything crazy. So I'm building this big, like, central entrance, and there's going to be entrances on all four sides to get into the whole villager trading hall, which I think will be cool. So I'm building little archways in between. Those will be covered up with deep slate later, but in the actual build, it's going to be open so I can actually get villagers in there, because that's going to be where I enter the whole trading hall. And here I'm trying to come up with some ideas for windows, maybe look at adding some granite in, getting that whole system there. And this whole system's coming together, so I'm coming up with the top there. I wasn't too happy with that, so I redid it, and I built it out of like birch. I extended this roof a little bit, and I'm overall pretty happy with this. So I'm coming up here. I'm using a lot of different blocks that I normally wouldn't, like sandstone and bricks, because they're a pain to get normally. But I wanted to do something special, especially for this. So I decided to go in for the grind. I eventually got all this stuff together. I decided to go for a lot of copper. That was, in retrospect, a painful decision, but it was worth it in the end. I'm very happy with what came out of this. So that's it. So let's see the end of this. Alright, so I've finally come up with the design I'm happy with. It's not super detailed, but that's okay. I don't think that's the end of the world for this. It's a lot of birch wood, a lot of sandstone, and that's materials I don't really have. There's quite a bit of granite in this, which means I'll have to go mining, and there's a lot of bricks, which means I'll have to figure out a way to get some clay. It's possible to do the drying method, so I may do that, and just use mud or something to get that. That's a possibility. Or I could go dig out a river. Either's fine. Down here, I have a little trading hall. This is how it was initially, and I just have some extra arches and stuff inside with some extra materials. Another thing I may have to get a lot of is copper, but that's not the end of the world. Awesome. So I'm using the Lightmatica mod, and I just took in the build that we made on Creative, and I pasted it in over here. Obviously, blocks are not actually here, but this is going to give me an idea of what I need. But now we got to start getting materials, and this trading hall is going to need a lot of materials. So let's pull up a list. We're going to need a lot of birch and oak for this. That is going to be so fun. So to speed up this process, I want to get some diamond tools. So I got this toolsmith that I'm going to slowly start to level up. But I need a lot of carrots. So I'm going to spend some time over at the mob grinder to get some bones. So I leveled this guy up very quickly considering the amount of iron I have. So because we made that iron farm last time, now we can just trade with this guy for pretty much anything. Although it would be nice to get another toolsmith because this iron trade is not easy. So now I'm looking to get some sand and sandstone. So I'm traveling this way because I believe there's a desert about 2,000 blocks away from me. Awesome. So I've made it to the mine desert, and this is where I'm going to get a bunch of sandstone and sand. So let's get started. All right, so I've gotten our farmer villager leveled up a bit. So now we have access to golden parrots, which is going to be huge. All right. So I've done a little bit of work, and I set up the base of what will be our villager trading hall. And now we just got to build a building around it. I've got light Matica loaded with my planned build, so we'll get started on that. So I've been at this for about 8 hours now. I started working on this episode at about noon today. It is now 8:35 p.m. So I don't have much time left in the day because I have other things I need to focus on. I've turned the iron farm back on so I can get a little more iron, and I've moved all my iron blocks in here, and I'm going to AFK for tonight. I'm going to log off the server quickly to save whatever replay I've had so far, and then I'm going to get off and AFK for the night. The day after I recorded that clip, unfortunately I found out I had to do some traveling. So I got back on my computer while I was traveling, and I did some progress on this build. So what you're seeing are screenshots from as I was building this up. It took a very long time, probably about another 4 or 5 hours, just to get to where I wanted to do, and I did it over 2 days. So over time, I just slowly kept building this up, and I got it to the point where I was happy with it. So right here is the final build. So I got back from my little trip last night, and it's done. So this is our final build. Inside, if we look at our villagers, we have everything. We have our original farmer who gives us golden carrots and can trade for some stuff. This guy gives us some tools. Here's where I get my swords from. This guy was huge because I needed a lot of bricks for this build, so I just traded for it because why not? I got some librarians, so I finally have mending, which is huge. And if I go here, I have this guy who gives me silk touch and some glass. This one gives me efficiency 5, which is huge. Maybe some riptide and density in the future. Here's where I get all my armor from. I now have diamond armor. And this guy gives us extra tools. Although the main reason I got this guy was for the iron trade. So yeah, I have everything I need, and I can get even more villagers, which will be huge. And here's our final build, which is awesome. So I can start cleaning up a little bit, but I'll probably do that off camera. And our original villagers are still here and safe. So if we ever need more in the future, they're right here. I may want to build a house to them in the future, though. Awesome. So that was the main goal of this episode, and that'll probably be it for this episode. So I'll see you guys in the next one. If you really liked it, be sure to give this video a like. And if you really loved it, make sure to subscribe. All right. Bye.